But given the investment we've made in the product and just wanting to make sure that everybody's on the same page at the outset, there's some things that we wanted to go through with everyone. So we appreciate you being here and going through the process, and we think it'll be a good thing. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm John Schwartz. I'm the high school principal here in the back, and she'll be a part of our technology integration team is Miss Christensen, Julie Christensen. She's our middle school and high school librarian. She has tremendous technology skills, and she's been a huge asset to us getting to this point, and will continue to be. So you should all, let's just talk through what you have here. You should all have a white piece of paper. We'll go through that a little bit into the presentation. You have your iPad. Please turn that over, off, set it on your lap, students. There will be a point in the presentation where we actually go through that together, but not right away. And then you should all have a pink ticket. That pink ticket, I'm going to tell you now, just in case I forget to tell you at the end, you're going to exit out those doors over here, not over here. You're going to exit out these doors over here, and you're going to give that pink ticket to one of our staff members, and in return, they're going to give you your charger, okay, to go with the iPad. So please make sure you walk out those doors and you don't step out of here without getting that charger before you go, okay? We all ready to go? Believe it or not, this is an SHS typing class from Mr. Miller's graduate. No, I'm sorry. This is an SHS actual typing class. We were able to get this picture from an old Seward High School yearbook that was sent to us just a couple months ago from an old alum. It is absolutely amazing and completely fitting that for this presentation we would show the format that many of us as adults learned how our keyboarding skills. And in fact, how many parents in here learned how to type our keyboard on a typewriter? Even I, going through my middle school experience, learned how to do it on an old typewriter. And you get really, really good at it, because if you make mistakes, then obviously it's a lot of work. But I think this captures the evolution that we're about to experience. When all of us were going through school, the skills that we needed to lead with were the ability to type accurately and type efficiently. It was all about words per minute, and how many words per minute could you type accurately. I mean, that was the focal point. And that's still a valuable skill. Obviously, we still have laptops and desktops. There's still research papers and reports and memos and different things along those lines that need to be typed. It's still valuable. But the reality is the skill set that our students need today goes far beyond that. And really creating a dual platform environment where we have not only the laptops and desktops for the production stuff, the typing of papers and so on and so forth. We also have the iPad for the creativity, the engagement, the types of internet collaboration and problem solving, and the various educational apps that come along with this that are going to allow students to prepare for the future that they need to be prepared for, and not the one that we all prepared for. So the high school experience has to change. And the iPad is one of the many tools we have that will hopefully help that to happen. So we're going to elaborate that on as we go. This presentation is really focused around a couple big ideas. One, we wanted everyone to understand what the general vision is for the direction we're heading and why we're heading this direction. And then two, we've received a lot of questions over the last few months as we've moved this direction from parents. And what we've tried to do is capture those questions that our students and parents have asked and focus this presentation around those questions so that you leave here hopefully with a lot of answers and not too many uncertainties in your mind. Okay, so we've really tried to structure it around those big ideas. Having said that, what you all have, go ahead and pick it up and take a look at it. You have a 2014 iPad Air. Your 2014 iPad Air is the most up-to-date iPad and the most up-to-date tablet technology on the market. There is not a more advanced piece of tablet technology that you can go and buy anywhere right now. So students, you have state-of-the-art equipment in your hands. As technology goes, in 6 months, it's probably not going to be state-of-the-art anymore, but right now it is. And it's a pretty amazing iPad. And the things that you can do with the iPad Air versus even what you can do with the one I have in my hands now is pretty amazing. It does have 32 gigs of memory on it, which is quite a bit. But students, please make sure you manage your memory. As you inevitably will have music and videos and different apps that you download for personal use, make sure you manage your memory so all the things you need it for here at school you have sufficient memory to get those things done. That's priority number one with this device. While you'll use it for some personal things, and we're okay with that, we'll elaborate on it shortly, it's primarily a school device first, okay? Also, the case that you have on your iPad, and I've said this several times now, but it is a military-grade iPad case. Mr. Williams still has not answered my question, even though I've asked him about 50 times. I am not sure what type of test an iPad case has to go through to get a military-grade designation, but I think it means it's pretty good, okay? And so we did invest in the front end in making sure we put a good case on this device for you and for us. We don't want these things to break, and you don't want to have to pay when they do, okay? We'll elaborate on that a little bit more as we go. The why, I think, is a critical element as to why we're moving this direction in the first place. And before I get to the bullet points, I think the why, the real why behind the why, is best captured in a short little video that gets at what we're trying to prepare our students for, which obviously is changing day by day. Like I said, I think the why is best captured in that video, and in particular, the part of it where it talks about the jobs that exist now in 2014 or 2012 that didn't exist back in 2002. Honestly, there are so many jobs that are going to be created over the next several decades that we can't predict. And so as we think about what our job is as a high school, it's to give our students and help to develop the skills within our students that are going to apply beyond the specific jobs that exist today. And so providing the iPad to our students is about creating and providing a tool that's going to help to develop those skills. Without the iPad in the one-to-one initiative, that we're going to have some inherent inequities, which is one of the first bullet points you see up there. If we had a bring your own device environment, not every family would be able to provide a device for their student. And in and of that would create some inequities. And then the second thing is if we had a BYOD environment, not every student would have the same device. And so if you're a classroom teacher preparing to teach a class where every student has a different device or there's multiple devices within the classroom, it greatly limits the types of things that you're going to be able to do because not every student's going to have the same capabilities. And so moving this direction and investing in a one-to-one initiative was really about creating opportunities for all kids that are relevant to what skills students are going to need moving forward. Okay? And the second really is captured in those three other bullet points, which is this is a fantastic device. And a lot of folks, when they think of iPads, they think of, wow, it's really efficient to access my email and access the internet. But there is a whole host of educational apps that are available on the iPad, and there's efficiencies that the iPad can create. We're just now seeing the tip of the iceberg. As we have this device over time, we're going to evolve, as will our students, in finding ways to use this device to really create some meaningful learning opportunities that are going to apply beyond the high school setting. And so we're excited to be able to provide that, and in doing so, it's going to be more engaging. Our timeline, and really the intent for showing this timeline is twofold. One is we want our parents and our students to know that the decision to go one-to-one was not taken lightly. In fact, we've probably taken longer to get to this point today than many others would have. 2 years ago, we had a pilot in a classroom. We wanted to see what type of an impact having a one-to-one environment in the classroom would have on student learning and other variables. We got some good results from that. And last year, students, for those of you that were here, we had our 4 iPad carts. We also spent a great deal of time and energy professionally developing our staff to use the iPad. And so we think we're about as prepared for a one-to-one initiative as any place can be prepared for a one-to-one initiative. We've just taken our time. Having said that, talking out of the other side of my mouth now, I think it's important, students and parents, you understand that this is a process and there's an evolution to it. You're going to see our ability as a school to utilize the iPad to engage students and to enhance learning grow over the next few years, over the next few months, over the next few weeks. Where we're at the end of this year, at the end of next year, at the end of the year after that, is going to be far greater than where we're at in September, okay? So we think that you're going to see that evolution over time. You're not going to see all the things that this can do right away, and that's actually a big part of the learning process that we're excited to have as a result of this. So please be patient as we try and be progressive. Why the iPad? That's a big question we often get. Some have wondered, why didn't we get a Chromebook or a Samsung tablet or whatever it might be? And there's really a number of reasons why. There's several that are listed up there. It is a very reliable device. It was designed with education in mind, and the type of apps and things along those lines that it provides fits the vision that we're trying to create with the one-to-one initiative. But I think the important thing that everyone understands is this one-to-one initiative has absolutely nothing to do with the iPad. The iPad is just the tool that we have selected at this time to fulfill the vision that we have for the types of skills we want to develop in our students. The reality is, in 4 or 5 years, the iPad is going to be replaced with something else. Maybe it's a more advanced iPad. Maybe it's not even an Apple product. Technology is going to continue to evolve, and our one-to-one initiative isn't about the device. It's about selecting the device that helps to develop the skills in our students that they need. So we share that expectation now because we don't want the impression to be that we're an iPad school and that's the outcome that we're seeking to achieve, is to put an iPad in every student's hands. The outcome we're seeking to achieve is to put a good device that's going to help develop the skills of our students in their hands, and that's going to change and evolve over time. Logistics, students, you can take this device home. It is essentially for you to use day in and day out. You can use it for personal things as well as school. We'll talk a little bit about some expectations with that here in a moment. If you don't have internet at home, that's not a deal breaker. Our staff realize that not every student has internet at home, and we've also put some apps on the iPad that'll make it possible for students to take some of the things that they were doing online here at school, save them to the iPad itself, access them at home offline, and then when they come back to school, upload them online. And so we were trying to be, again, that equity piece being a big part of what we're trying to achieve with this. We try to be as mindful as possible that not all families have internet access at home, and we wanted the iPad to still be useful to them. As far as general expectations are concerned, parents, students, we have 5 general ones and then some specific to the classroom. It's important that the iPad be brought every single day. It is going to get used on a regular basis, more so the further we get into the year, and so please bring it here every day. Second expectation is it needs to be brought every day charged so it can get through the day. Obviously, with 10 hours of battery life, it's possible on one charge. You might get several school days out of it when you're not using it every minute, but do make sure that you have enough battery power that if you're doing a class activity, you're not having to go plug your iPad into the wall of the classroom just to make sure you have a charge. Okay, so please have routines for that within your household. Parents, if you can help us with that, it'd be greatly appreciated as well. The third one, flip that iPad over and take a look at the back side of it, please. On the back side of the iPad, you see 2 stickers. Those 2 stickers, for school purposes, are highly important to us. Okay, so students, please do not peel those stickers off. Please don't draw on them. I know how sometimes in class your mind wanders and you start doodling on a piece of paper or whatever. Please don't doodle on those stickers. If something were to accidentally happen to those stickers, let us know right away so we can replace that sticker with one that's untainted. Okay, so please do take care of those. So that's number 3. Number 4, while those 2 stickers are on there from us, please don't put any other stickers on there from you. No stickers, no markers, no beads, and anything else along those lines. I'm sure I can't think of all the different things folks would want to attach to it, but please don't put them on there. When you're done with this iPad, it's going to be somebody else's iPad, and we want to make sure what we're giving them is something that is just as good a quality as what you're getting now. And if it's had, stickers and beads and different things on it, it might put us in a position where we're buying another $60 or $70 case, and we don't want to have to do that. Okay. As far as classroom expectations are concerned, if you could please fire up your iPad. And we'll let everyone get to the same point here. And then if you could slide your home screen over one to the right, you're going to see an icon that says self-service, and it looks like the one that's at the top of the screen right now.
Where's the on button?
The on button is in the corner, and Miss Christensen will help you out. Now, I don't want to go too fast. Raise your hand if you're all to that point. Have you all clicked on the self-service icon? Okay? If you're a little bit behind and you get behind in my instructions, Miss Christensen will be around to help. Just raise your hand. At the bottom of the screen you should be looking at right now is that ribbon that you see in the middle of the screen right now on my screen up here at the front on the stage. And you're going to see ebooks as an option. Please press that ebooks icon at the bottom of the screen you're looking at right now. And then in the upper left-hand corner of what pops up is a one-to-one student model. Go ahead and click install on that particular one, please. And what that's pulling up for you is a small portion of the Seward High School handbook. The whole handbook has actually been loaded onto your iPad, but we broke out just this one article because we wanted it to be easy to access for students and parents. This is the 10 or 12 pages that just pertains to the one-to-one initiative, okay? So it's a part of a larger handbook. If you can scroll in until you find page 54, on page 54, you're going to find a section that says iPad in the classroom. Parents and students, if you could please read that together. Please take a minute or two and read that together. go ahead and finish up reading as I begin talking again. Those expectations are both very general in the sense that we've captured them in a very small amount of writing, but at the same time, they're pretty specific. Okay? Now, students, be prepared for the fact that each teacher is going to have some nuanced expectations as you go from one class period to the next. Because how the iPad's used in an FCS classroom where there's a lab type situation or a weight room or a science class or a history class, that's going to look a little bit different depending upon the nature of the class. So just like you've always had to prepare for nuanced expectations from one class period to the next, from one teacher to the next, you're going to have to do that as well with the iPad. Our staff will communicate those expectations with you at the start of the term, and you're going to be expected to meet them just like other expectations staff members have always had. So just be prepared for that. The other thing that I'll say, and we're not going to spend a lot of time with this because to be honest with you, we trust our students. If we didn't trust our students, we wouldn't have been passing iPads out over the last week. Okay, we never would have gotten to this point. Having said that, having the iPad is a privilege. And if students are misusing it to the point where it becomes a distraction to learning, we're obviously going to have to restrict that privilege, whether it's the student's not able to take it home or they can't use it at all. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Or if a student does some things that violate school policy, there may be some consequences. Okay? We're going to try and be as proactive with this as we can, and part of sharing that expectation with you now is that proactive piece. We will also have a digital citizenship class that meets outside of school hours one time a month, and students that we're having to get involved with because they're misusing the device, we're going to try and help to develop their digital citizenship skills and qualities so we don't have future issues down the road. Okay? If you could please, there's a piece of paper that I gave or that you received when you picked up your iPad. If you could take a look at the side of that piece of paper that says setting up your Apple ID. This document is also in the self-service part of your iPad. So where you just opened up the Article 9 of the handbook, you can also find copies of this document as well. Students, I need your help with something. Please set up your Apple ID sometime within the next day or two. You can do it before you leave your school building if you want, and if you want help, Ms. Christensen or myself can help you, okay? If you have an existing Apple ID, I encourage you just to connect that existing Apple ID with this device. The first few instructions talk you through how to do that. If you don't have an Apple ID, or for some reason you want a different Apple ID for this particular device, the instructions on that piece of paper walk you through it. And parents, those instructions, if you follow them to the T, will show you how to set one up that doesn't have a credit card linked to it. Okay? That's a personal family decision. We recommend if you have an Apple ID, use the one you already have. But if you don't, or you want a different one, those instructions will walk you through it as well. By doing that in the next day or two, it gives us the ability to do what's on the second half of that sheet. So please turn that over on the other side of it. Once you have your Apple ID set up, it's going to allow you to accept the invitation that Mr. Williams is going to send out that is discussed on the second side of the sheet. It will allow your device, your Apple ID, to be connected to our network, which will give Mr. Williams the ability to deploy ebooks or apps to your machine. So if you have a teacher that today decides, wow, it would be great to have this particular app on the machines for all the students I have in class, she's going to be able to let Mr. Williams know. And then Mr. Williams will be able to deploy that app to all the students from an external location, just like that. So class time's not going to be wasted downloading apps and those types of things as a result of that. Students, if you have a class that has an ebook instead of a traditional textbook, Mr. Williams will then be able to deploy that ebook on your machine. So those two steps, students, if you can do those for us in the next day or two, it's going to mean you're ready when it's go time on the first day of school. So if you need help with that, or parents, you want someone here at school to help you out, I think we do have the ability to do that today.
It hasn't been working very well.
Oh, it hasn't been working very well. So if you have the ability at home, give it a try. Give it a try here. And if it doesn't work, you'll have to try it at a later date. So just wanted to share that with you as well. Other logistics and expectations type things. Students, this iPad that you will have for the duration of your high school experience. You'll turn it in at the end of each school year, and you'll pick it up again at the start of the next. But this same iPad is the same iPad that you'll have. So please care for it, but also know that if you have some things that are saved on your iPad, that they're going to be there from one year to the next largely, okay? So you're truly going to be, it's a school device, but for all practical day-to-day purposes, you're the owner of this device. And so you're going to want to care for it because you're going to have it for a while, especially those that are underclassmen, okay? Parents, passcodes, students, passcodes, please put a passcode on your iPad. That's strongly recommended because if your iPad, for whatever reason, is sitting around and someone picks it up, you're going to have some really important stuff on your iPad. Maybe you'll have a link to your Facebook account, your email address, projects that you've worked on for class, and you wouldn't want it easy for someone to pick this thing up and do anything with those. So by putting a passcode on there, that's essentially the same as a lock on a locker. Parents, absolutely 100% you should know what that passcode is. Because I hope that periodically you're checking this device to make sure that it's being used appropriately. We'll do that on our end as well, but as parents, I hope you are as well, and with other devices that you have, so please know that passcode. And then finally, students, there's some specific sessions that we're going to have so you can learn how to use the device, or some applications that go along with the device, but a lot of the learning that takes place with the iPad is going to be learning by doing. And that's really what is going to be most powerful about the device itself. So we'll have some formal things, and then we'll have some informal things, and in time we'll grow together. E-Backpack students, you're going to be trained on E-Backpack during that first week, perhaps even the first day. E-Backpack is a virtual locker, and things like a syllabus or assignments, it'll make it easier to go paperless in some ways. And obviously our ability to do that is going to increase over time. If you're a marching band student, you already know your marching band drill for this next season is all on the iPad. That's 4,000 some pages we're saving as a school that because it's able to be on the iPad. But assignments that are submitted are assigned to you on eBackpack, you'll be able to complete right on here and use software that will allow you to annotate right on that document electronically without using a pencil or paper at all. And you'll be able to submit electronically as well. And so eBackpack is really a powerful tool that is going to allow a lot of substitution. Things that used to occur paper pencil will now be able to occur on the iPad. Okay? Obviously that's not the sole purpose for the iPad, but it is a way that it can be used to substitute for some things. Maintenance and repairs, the $35 technology fee that you paid is essentially insurance. Having said that, if the device gets lost, broken, destroyed, screen repair, those kinds of things, there's still a cost. But essentially what that $35 covers is it makes those costs about half of what they would be had you not purchased or not paid the technology fee. Okay? So replacing this iPad is about $600. Replacing the case is about twice as what you see up there. Okay? I think it's important you know that on the front end, we did purchase the nicer case, so hopefully with your day-to-day use, none of those problems occur. But it's still an expensive device. Students, please do care for it. And I think you'll find that those types of things don't happen with proper routines and care practices. So, finally, parents, as I talk, take a look at some of the suggestions up there. We're going to provide suggestions throughout the year on our website and in school newsletters for you, but here's some real general ones just to get you started. Again, know that passcode. Please know that we have some fantastic filtering software here for the internet at school, but that filtering software we use here at school doesn't travel with the device home to your home. So if your students have internet access at home and they access the internet on their phone or on their laptop or a desktop computer, and you have different routines that you've developed in the house to monitor that, you probably ought to use those same routines with this device. So please don't assume that things are filtered at home with this device the same way that they are here at school. So please do have those expectations. Parents, this device is going to be used a lot at school, so if you can help us make sure it gets here every day and that it gets here charged, that's only going to put your student in a good situation to be successful with it. And do take some time. You read one small little part of Article 9, the iPad in the classroom piece. It is a very quick read, but I think it'll give you a good vision for what our expectations are with the iPad. But I think more than anything, just trust your judgment. If something doesn't look or feel right with how you're seeing the iPad used, it's probably not. Okay? So trust your instincts, and if you're ever not sure, we're always here to answer those questions, okay? It's also a great opportunity for you to role model digital citizenship. Our students see us and how we use these devices and others like it, and they take cues from us in terms of what's appropriate or inappropriate. And so our students having this device in the home daily gives you a great opportunity to role model those things. Finally, we're about ready to get you out of here. I would strongly recommend you snap a picture of this with your iPad, students, because if you have any issues, or parents, you have any questions, we have a really slick ticketing system. ticket@sewardschools.org is the email address you can send any questions to pertaining to the iPad. What that does for you is it makes it so you have a one-stop shop. So if you have a question, you email it to ticket@sewardschools.org, and we're going to figure out who the best person is to answer that question, and we're going to get back to you pretty quickly. Rather than you debating who you should call and perhaps having to make multiple calls and wait and have the runaround, you know how that is. Okay? When I call Time Warner Cable, it takes me 2 hours to make a 10-second call. Okay? We don't want that situation for you. Okay? So please take a look at ticket@sewardschools.org if you have a question. We'll navigate those questions as efficiently as we can so we can serve your needs. Okay? Having said that, remember you're going to exit out the south back doors. We're excited for our one-to-one initiative. We think it is a great thing for our kids. We're going to learn and grow with it together. Please turn in your pink pass for the charging cord as you walk out those doors. Have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for being here today.